All right, guys, we are back. Bucket and Maven bringing you the action tonight. We just got through 2 matches. Optic Gaming able to win their series after dropping Game 1 Solar Hardpoint. But the first match of the night, most exciting so far. TK and Rise going round 11.
Yep.
Solar S&D. I was right, Maven was wrong. I feel better.
You know, but then when I said it came down to, excuse me, why I applied chapstick, my lips aren't even chapped. It's just completely an obsession of mine.
You look great.
I said when it came down to where they're playing for every single marble, Nameless was my guy. He did it. He clutched up. You know,
who was that one we won against?
If I would have said another
Apathy?
player, somebody on Rise, they probably would have done it, Chris.
Yeah, I think it was Nameless versus Apathy there in the final fight.
Yeah, I believe it was. And Apathy, you know, he was frustrated. He tweeted out afterwards. He said, I almost put my controller through a wall, but I was mature about it. I did not do that. He had to have been frustrated. I mean, they, you know, they dealt with the TCM lagouts. Then I think their sub even was lagging out.
Right. Jason.
Then to battle back and take it to Game 5 and lose in that fashion, pretty tough stuff.
My favorite thing about the Pro League, everyone plays different maps. Here we kick things off. It's going to be a hard point on Detroit. And it looks like everyone wants to be on my team. Wow. This is really disorganized. I'm upset with you.
Did they figure it out the last second?
Yeah, they did.
It?
I'm so impressed.
All
right, Envy. I see you.
I'm going to drink another energy drink, Chris, because we've got 2 whole series left.
Yeah, I just just refilled my cup as well.
All right, let's do it.
At the start here, Aqua and JCap doing the damage. First 3 kills, all Envy style, and now you're going to see Octane backing up with the bow. I love watching this guy, man. Everyone kind of hyped him up towards the end of Season 2, and I was like, nah, I'll believe it when I see it. I watched him at UMG California, and I was like, he is the real deal. He's proving it all of Season 1. Coming into this week, he led everyone with, I believe, a 1.27 overall
what player
KD.
Is this? I missed the beginning of your sentence. What player are you talking about?
Young Octane.
Oh, yeah, no, Octane. I couldn't agree more. He's a complete stud. If anyone questioned him a couple months ago, I think he's proven over the last couple months that he can hang, if not demolish, a pro player.
JCap, of course, brought back to his former team. And he's kind of the most veteran player, surrounding himself with a lot of young talent. Looney, really a superstar in Advanced Warfare, broke out at the very start of the game back in November. Aqua and Aqua and Octane taking a little bit longer throughout AW, but definitely now players that I consider within the top 20.
Yeah, and you know, you're talking about JCap a little bit there. I thought he had a pretty good Dallas. He played very well. I didn't watch all their series, but I watched a good number of them, and he was playing really strong. Saw him clutching up over and over again, especially I think 2 different recovery S&Ds. I saw him just making big play after big play. But unfortunately, he disappeared a little bit against Optic. The series they lost, and Losers did not have a very good series, expressed his disappointment himself during that series. But I think this team's really coming together. Obviously, one of the newer teams that's formed here over the past month or so, and I think they're going to be very strong. Do I think they're going to consistently beat this Faze roster? I do not. I think Faze is unquestionably our #2 squad right now.
Aqua's running around right now on a 5 streak. I've been staying on board with him for about a minute. Very long life here. Nice rotation, and you saw him on the past green hardpoint. No one even got a chance to challenge him, and you got to credit JCap and Octane slaying outside the hardpoint. Very nice job by the 2 ARs, and you see it's actually going to be Enable working at 3 and 8. He is the lowest out of any player in this game. He was probably their best player, most consistent player throughout Dallas. What's going wrong for Enable?
Wrong for him right now? It's tough to tell. I mean, it's pretty early on here. 2.5 minutes in. Enable, we've known, has been, when it comes to slaying at least, so I think he's been one of the best communicators in the game, one of the best OBJ players in the game when he handles the objective stuff, without question. But he struggled a bit at times with slaying. You saw him when he filled in for Optic Gaming. You know, he was having that, it's where he ranged between like a 0.75 and 0.85 KD at all times. He struggles a little bit to get going, but he crushed at UMG Dallas. I think I heard the commentators say at one point, I think going into the finals, he had the highest KD of the entire team.
It was 22 of 26 maps he went positive. 1.18 overall.
Obviously,
for the
you've
team.
gone through the statistics much more than I have, but that's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, only 4 games you go negative all weekend long. I'll take that. Looking over, though, Aqua in this game has been the monster. Him and JCap taking over. And I said it incorrectly. JCap was using the SMG basically this whole game. The surprising thing is Faze has host in games 1 and 3. So this is Faze's host, and you look over and you're trying to figure out who has it. It might be Clayster, who's even. Everyone else negative, and this is super surprising from the squad that just dominated everyone on LAN.
They absolutely have been looking so strong, and right now Envy just completely in control. I mean, I got to watch Cap. He's going to end up falling right now, but 18 and 11. Now, who were the band hosts again for this series?
Band host, Looney and Enable.
Okay, Looney and Enable. Well, Octane and Cap are crushing right now. Faze just doesn't have an answer for it. And honestly, even if Enable was having a better game as he's climbing back, he was, oh god, I think he was 3 and 14 a minute ago. He's at 11 and 17 right now in a 3 streak. He's coming alive. But I don't know if him coming alive is even the difference right now. None of them really going big right now in the slaying department. It's funny to see, you know, Clay kind of leading the way right now when we talked about the fact it's a little bit harder to go big with a bow on this one.
Yeah.
Even though he just dashed and hip-fired someone and melted him.
Easy stuff there. 60 points separating these two squads, a little under now. And you're going to see Faze try and mount the comeback in the last 5 minutes, but Envy, a phenomenal job breaking out in your first half of this first hardpoint, taking a commanding control. Can they hold on? Zuma coming in, nice flank, picks up 1. Doesn't know where the pressure's coming, but able to hip fire for 2. Attached now, coming in to clean up. Haven't seen him yet. He's shut down instantly. Enable struggling. It's Octane outside, jumping up and down, picking up 2 pieces with the bow.
Is this a Faze host?
Yeah.
I completely, if you said it, I just in my head was convinced this was an Envy host because they were smacking them early on. Wow, this would be a huge, huge win for Envy then in this series. I mean, if they can steal the game 1 hardpoint off host, that would be gigantic right now. I saw people talking about the fact it's Attach's host. Well, someone has to get going right now because if Attach is on host right now at 13 and 21 on a pretty sub-dominated hardpoint, that just can't happen, man. They've got to get going. But looking at it, even if you saw the KDs right now, I would think this would be a bigger blowout than it is when pretty much every single player outside of Looney is positive right now for Envy. Faze is not out of this. 4 minutes left, Chris. 35-point advantage. They just really need 1 good hardpoint. They're back in this.
And Zuma just played this so well in the back alley. He gets 2. You see his teammates Clayster saves him at the front door. They are right back in this game. It was an 80-point separation between the 2 squads back at the school hardpoint. What a turnaround in the last 90 seconds. They're right back in it. And Zuma could even tie it up if he gets these 2 kills.
And he gets gets the assist on 1. Attach is able to clean that up. A couple down for Envy there. We'll see if they can regain control. They're starting to climb back in. There's 20 seconds left of this. If they can hold it here, this would basically be almost exactly a tie game. They'd actually have a couple-point lead. There's a potential for a lead change right now, but no one really there to get the scrap time. The final 7 seconds are going to end up getting picked up by Attach, as everyone else will start rotating here. So it is going to be a 3-point deficit, Chris, going into the 3rd to final hill.
Wow.
The slow start for Faze has pretty much disappeared now, but this is exactly what we saw in game number 1 with Optic pretty much. Obviously they weren't on host, but Orbit had that big lead. They climbed back into it, and then you saw 1 big hardpoint push. That parking lot push on Solar really took over. I'm curious to see if this plays out in a similar fashion now that you saw Optic or Faze claw back into it.
Ironic that they are in a parking garage, and you're going to see Attach trying to hold on. Enable falls, though. Big break here. Octane, last man standing in the garage, pulls out the sub here for this hill. Able to get 2. Looney has the 3rd in the kill feed. That's 3 straight members down for Faze. They're all storming up the ramp, though. Octane going to be the 2nd line of defense as Zuma just took out Looney.
I was watching Cap try to push in through steps. He had some nice nades in there to push back those players. Unfortunately, one of them ends up tagging Octane on the toe, going to take him out. The team kill doesn't seem to cost him too much. Scrap time yet again going to go to Faze. They are set up pretty nicely here in the next hard point too. First man was Attach. He actually gets team killed by Zuma. That's going to be a much, much more costly team kill. It's one thing to team kill in scrap time with 10 seconds left. It is entirely another one to do it in the opening break on a hard point. That ends up costing them potentially significant time, as they haven't really been able to pick up any. It's been contested throughout now. Still a 20-plus point advantage here for Envy. Under 90 seconds to go. but attached there. He answers back. He had the team kill, but then picks up the player at door, picks up the player at window. Disgusting two-piece there. And these final 25 seconds, they're posed very nicely to close this out and take the lead, Chris.
Attach gonna fall. Zuma inside. Minute and 9 seconds. 16 points remain on this yellow hard point. You're gonna see Zuma collect every second if they keep it down. It looks like everything's locked down until the push comes in. Clayster inside of the hard point for the final three. They've taken the lead, but Envy set up first.
That's the first lead change I think we've seen all game, really. Yep. They got within 3. I don't think they actually took the lead in quite some time. Saw Looney drop that was attached with another monstrous 2 pieces. He was able to break into Skull. He gets 3. Attach is going huge. He got them the final 30 or so seconds in the last hard point. Broke into this one. Attach having an absolutely huge game when it matters over the final 90 seconds. And he has gone from, I think he was -6 or 7 earlier. He's basically even now with 11 caps to go with it. They're up 10 right now. 20 seconds left. Octane, the only one in position to break it. He gets 2, though. Gets in. There's players pushing front steps. They're able to shut it down, though. They don't have time in just a tick, and there it is. Faze comes back and takes it.
How did that happen? How did this happen? It was an
turned the hell up
80-point lead 5 minutes ago.
I saw people saying in the chat that, you know, he was host. I didn't believe it because how bad they were struggling. I thought for sure it was Envy. And then he had a team kill in the the second to last hard point, had a team kill, but then comes back with a 2-piece, pushes out, gets a 3rd, almost picks up a 4th. They get the final 27 points. And then you mentioned the fact that the rotation came early from Envy. They were going to be set up inside of school early, but Attach just came in, killed all 3 players inside of school, and that was it.
And there you see the numbers. Attach goes even, 12 captures, 11 captures out of Zuma. On the other end, it was Octane, surprisingly, leading the charge in captures for this Envy lineup.
Is that the first time that's ever happened, ever?
Probably the first and maybe last. He also had most defense, had 5 defense inside. But, you know, you see Looney and you see Aqua's numbers there. I don't think the numbers tell the full story because I was watching kind of the gameplay from Envy. Anytime they have a hard point locked down, they leave Octane or they were leaving JCap, and they were sending Looney and Aqua right at the opposing team spawns. So I was really impressed by the subs in the first half ability to just stay on their opponents and keep calling out where Faze is coming from. I don't know what went wrong for them in the second side. Faze just seemed to clutch up when they needed to most.
I feel like there were a couple times where Envy didn't do a great job of having someone in the hill. What you talked about is great. Having 2 players pushing out is magnificent. But
right.
if you let somebody slip through and then they clean up your 2 players in the hard point, now there's nobody in there to actually deal with that because everyone's pushing out, or whatever the case may be. We saw issues like that with the Prophecy team, which had Aqua and Octane on it. We saw them struggle with that same thing. I'm worried similar woes here for Envy, at least in game number 1.
We'll have to see how it's going to play out, guys. Search and Destroy, game number 2 coming up next as our Pro League. This is match 3, Faze versus Envy.